All right, there are two high-profile cases taking place this week. There is accused killer Tyler Robinson, who faces charges in the shooting death of Charlie Kirk.
And accused killer Luigi Mangione, who's due in New York State Court tomorrow. He's charged with murder as an act of terrorism for the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown last December. All right, we're getting all lawyered up this morning with Arthur Aidala, the criminal defense attorney, joining us with some expert advice. Let's start a little bit with Charlie Kirk and his attacker. I know we keep saying that we don't know a motive yet, but I think we know a motive.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're going to guess a motive, but in criminal law, you don't need to prove a motive. The same thing with Mangione. You don't need to prove a motive, even though we can presume what the motive is. The issue with Utah is even though they have the death penalty on the books, and I think many people think that that's the appropriate punishment here if the case is proven beyond a reasonable doubt. In Utah, first of all, it's used rarely. There was an execution in 2024, and before that it was 2010. You can either have the lethal injection, but if the medicine is not available for the lethal injection, you could have a firing squad. Interesting. But it's got to be an aggravated homicide, which is on the Utah laws, it's a police officer, a firefighter, a child. So if it doesn't fit into one of those categories, I could see the Department of Justice doing with this case, with Charlie Kirk case, what they did here in New York with Mangione. The Department of Justice would come in and say, this is an act of terrorism. He didn't kill him because they were fighting with each other or they had a rift against each other. He killed him to scare the community. It's an act of terrorism, and therefore we're going to step in as the feds and take the case over.
So it's going to be one case instead of two right now.
Well, what's happened now in Mangione is the Manhattan DA is not letting go of the homicide charges, and the Southern District is not letting go of their terrorism homicide charges. So, guys, there's this, like, fight amongst two prosecutors that is not normal, not typical, and nobody really knows how it's going to result.
Getting back to the Charlie Kirk case, Tyler Robinson's partner now seems to be cooperating with the feds there in the investigation. That person has to, basically, right? He should be lawyered up at this point.
Yeah,
Could he be a possible...
My guess is obviously he should be. And there should be some sort of negotiation if he's got some exposure to being charged with acting in concert.
Could he possibly have known?
Right, exactly. If there's any possibility that there was acting in concert, or he helped in any way facilitate the crime. But apparently the defendant is not speaking, but it seems like there's a plethora of evidence against him that justice will be done here.
I want to talk about Luigi Mangione. Obviously has a state court appearance tomorrow. So he's got the state case and he's got the federal case. What will happen at this hearing tomorrow when it comes to the state case?
It's very, I mean, there are a lot of some legal issues that are being hashed out. One of them right now is that the prosecutor reached out to Mangione's health insurance company, Aetna, and asked for some limited documents, and they sent all his documents, which is a violation of HIPAA, believe it or not, when we're talking about a homicide case. So they're going to fight about that a little bit, but it's also about scheduling. Who's going to go first? Is it going to be a state trial first, where the penalty is 25 years to life? That's the maximum. Or is it going to be a federal case? And I don't know if the judges are going to get together. No one really knows, even in the legal community in which I travel, which direction this is going to go. But either way, and then hold on, he's got to go to Pennsylvania, because when they caught him, he had a gun on him, and so he's got an illegal gun charge in Pennsylvania as well.
It's interesting with Mangione because his trial got so much attention, and we're expecting that there will be maybe a crowd or something along those lines outside tomorrow. People who are his supporters in some way. Does that factor into anything that comes with the judge's decision about which case is going to go first and how they're going to proceed with how to actually handle the case itself?
No, I mean, you're talking about a veteran judge in the state court case. That will have no effect on him whatsoever. It is interesting, though. I believe he still gets the most mail, Mangione does, in the MDC where he is. And that's where Puff Daddy is and a lot of other notorious defendants are. But people are sending him gifts, which he doesn't get, but all kinds of mail, and there's websites, and there's legal defense funds. I don't get it. I don't know why people look at him as a hero for executing a hardworking father of two, but they do. And I don't know if you're going to see that with this guy. I mean, you know, there's all the political stuff. That's not me. I do the law. I stay out of politics.
Really? You're from Brooklyn. I know the way you operate. Any cases you're working on that we need to know of?
Tomorrow I go in on Uncle Harvey, Mr. Harvey Weinstein.
What's
I feel like
going
he's
on
my
with him?
uncle. I've been with him since 2019.
What's going on with that?
Well, there's one open charge that jury couldn't reach a verdict on. So we have to decide, do we go to trial on that? Do they dismiss that? I mean, he's facing 25 years on the one count he got convicted of. He was not guilty on another count. So how much time, effort, and energy do we want to waste on a 73-year-old guy with cancer, heart disease, diabetes? You know, there should be some form of a resolution here.
Is that in the same courthouse as Mangione?
It's in the same courthouse, and everyone's there. The court officers, the great New York City court officers, have already told me, Aidala, get ready. It's going to be a zoo here tomorrow. But I like zoos. I'm from, well, my father's from the Bronx, so we got the Bronx Zoo. You know, I think the Prospect Park's got a zoo, so we got a zoo in Brooklyn.
I say Brooklyn Zoo.
All right. Arthur Aidala, thank you so much for your expertise this morning.